Wait, so go back to your graduate school. You said you did that just because you didn't know what you wanted to do?
Pretty much.
So you're just like,
yeah, I was going to graduate in college with a degree. I know I didn't want to teach high school, which is what I had that
pact with your parents.
I didn't want to do that. So I thought I might as well go to 3 more years of college.
Dig that debt hole deeper.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing the sketch writing stuff. What are you doing for an income in New York?
Oh,
while you're trying to figure it out, it sounds like.
Well, for the first 2 years after I got out of graduate school, I was a high school teacher.
Oh, you did end up caving and doing it.
I said, well, at least I've got this degree. I'll use it.
No.
But it was so low paying, it was insane.
Oh, no.
At a town called Irvington, New Jersey, which is a suburb of Newark, which was, I'd say, around 85% of the kids were African American, and some, there were, and I was, you can't see me, or maybe you can't see me. I am the whitest guy in the world, and I was very tall.
Well, next to me, you're not that white.
And I used to wear these back in the day. This is the mid '80s now. I used to wear these big kind of tortoiseshell glasses.
Oh, nice.
So the kids all called me Clark Kent. That was my kid nickname, was Clark Kent. And they go, oh, Clark Kent, or they called me Superman. They go, hey, Superman, like that,
That's hilarious.
And I thought that I would be the cool hip young teacher, who got the kids. And so the first day of teaching there, I taught English. I was sort of like being cool and making jokes and and these kids like just walked all over me. Like
That's
they
hilarious.
Walked all over me. Like within the first 3 days, maybe, I had lost all control. I had no control over them. They had no respect for me. They would come and go as they pleased. I couldn't do anything. I was wishy-washy. I was a big pussy about it, and I didn't know what to do. And there's another, as a kind of a test case, there was another guy my exact age who was also in the English department, who started my same day. He was a lot smaller than me, this guy named Alan Yorkowitz, and he was a real ball buster. And like, he started out like on the first day, he was like, if a kid acted up, he's like, you're going to the principal, I'm writing you up, you get detention, whatever. And he ruled with an iron fist, and he never had any problems. And I was like, literally like, I was dead.
That's
dead.
hilarious.
Yeah, so
That's
I was a
so
terrible
funny.
teacher. I was terrible.
And then when Dangerous Minds came out, were you like, oh, I can relate to that?
Yeah, right.
That's hilarious.
That was crazy. That was really crazy.
But you ended up doing that for 2 years?
For another year after that, yeah. But by the end of that second year, I was so bad. And there were other terrible things going on in my life. I was really depressed about whatever other things going on in my life. I had a relationship that ended badly. So I got to the point where I was so depressed where I was calling in sick like every day.
Oh, no.
And like, I need a substitute. And then the guy who had hired me, this young kind of vice principal, talked me into his office like around this time of year, like May or April or so, or May of that second year. And he goes, yeah, we're not going to have you back next year. And I was like, thank you.
That's hilarious.
I don't want to do it either.
That's
so I was saying like a mercy killing.
Yeah, that's great.
So then I started doing this other work. That's when I decided like, screw it. I'm going to go to New York. I'm going to figure out. I started figuring out what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. I started taking the improv classes.
Yep.
And then by that point, I wasn't living in New York. I was still living in New Jersey, but I take the train into New York, and I got a job as a proofreader at a law firm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I wish I had done that 2 years earlier, but
Sure.
because it was really easy to do, and I was really good at it. I was a really good reader and really, whatever. I was an English teacher, but I worked at this law firm called Debevoise and Plimpton, which is a big time law firm, and all the proofreaders there were all aspiring actors, singers,
funny.
musicians, artists. So I worked there during the day for 2 years, and then I worked the midnight shift for 2 years, from like midnight to 8 a.m.
Oh, wow.
And that's when the real aspiring actors worked there, because they all were doing stuff during the
Auditioning
day.
and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so I worked with a bunch of people who were all trying to make it as actors or writers or musicians or artists or whatever like that.